Hey guys, hey, this is Anne-Marie and this is the Anti-HR channel, and today we are going to be talking about a very important HR topic. I know over the last couple of weeks I've been talking a lot about current event things, but we're getting back to the basics because this is a channel where we talk about HR issues, and it is very important to me that we talk about HR issues because we are in a time when employee workplace rights are under attack, and it's very important to me that you understand your workplace rights in every aspect. So in this video, we are going to talk about mediation and what it is and how to protect yourself when it rears its head in your workplace. A lot of employees are finding out that they are subject to mediation. A lot of them don't even know that they are until issues of workplace rights arrive, discrimination arise, and they want to take action and find that they can't take legal action because they have signed and agreed to participate in mediation. So I want to spend some time talking a little bit about mediation today so that you at least understand the basics and understand how to navigate it as an employee. So what is mediation? Mediation is a type of alternative dispute resolution, or ADR. It's an informal private meeting where a neutral third party, and I'm going to put neutral in quotes, third party, called a mediator, tries to help you and your employer resolve a dispute without going to court. Now, I say neutral because it's my position that if it's really neutral, it's not something you should have to be forced into. And the truth is that, especially in situations where your employer is requiring that you sign something agreeing to mediation as a part of your employment agreement, part of your employment contract, that it's not really neutral because they are in fact contracting with the alternative dispute resolution company or the mediator. So again, the person who pays is the person who has the biggest influence, right? So always remember that. So one of the things you might want to ask is, how is it considered neutral if the mediator is being paid by your employer? In fact, then it is not completely neutral. And that's what it's important for you to understand, especially in situations where you are being forced into the mediation by your employer through an employment agreement. It's not really neutral, so it becomes even more important for you to understand how to navigate it. So here's what you need to know. The mediator is not a judge. They don't make decisions or assign blame. Their job is to keep both parties talking and try to come to a mutual agreement. Sounds fair, right? Well, maybe, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and that's why I wanted to make this video. So, why might you be forced into mediation? More companies today are using mandatory mediation clauses in employment agreements. That means you may have signed away your right to sue when you joined a company without even realizing it. You are now legally required to mediate any workplace dispute before doing anything else. And in some cases, you literally are agreeing that you will not take the dispute into court. These clauses are often hidden in offer letters, contracts, or employment contracts, onboarding paperwork, arbitration agreements, and employers rarely explain what they mean. One of the things that I have recommended in a video I made previously about things to ask when you are being interviewed is to ask whether or not you are going to be asked to hire anything that bars you from being able to sue an employer if they violate your workplace rights. Ask if your employment is subject to any mandatory mediation. And these are things important to ask. And, you may feel like, oh, if I ask these things, they won't hire me. But if you don't want to be locked into one of these things without knowing it, then it's a good thing for you to ask. As I said, these clauses are hidden. So when something goes wrong at work, discrimination, sexual harassment, retaliation, you may be legally stuck in mediation. And that's why it's so important to know how it works. So another place where mediation may come up is when you file a complaint of illegal misconduct, or which discrimination is, or, if you file a complaint about discrimination or some other illegal workplace misconduct with a federal agency or a state agency that is responsible for enforcing your state's workplace laws, similar to the EEOC. The federal government has the EEOC. Some states also have their own agencies. For example, in Washington, D.C., there is the D.C. Office of Human Rights, and they respond to employee complaints about workplace wrongdoing. So how mediation comes into play sometimes is through complaints to federal and state agencies. If you file a complaint with the EEOC or state agency, mediation may be offered before a full investigation even takes place. Why is this? Because it's faster, it's cheaper, and it clears the agency's backlog. Right now, the EEOC has a huge backlog, and an easy way for them to resolve a lot of the disputes that come to them is to offer mediation. Honestly, to push mediation. They push it like crack, okay? And sometimes make you feel like you don't have a choice, okay? But here's the issue. Many mediators will push for return to work as the main goal. They may not tell you about alternatives. You'll be expected to represent yourself, even if your employer shows up with lawyers and other HR professionals. These are things you need to understand, right? You have to understand this process, because if you don't understand, at least have a basic understanding of it, you can really be at the short end. So, as an employee, what do you need to understand about mediation? If you're headed into mediation, voluntarily or not, here are 5 things to understand to protect yourself. Number 1, you can ask for a separation with severance. You don't have to return to the toxic workplace. You can ask to leave with money, benefits, and a clean break. But most people don't know that this is an option. So you've got to know that it's an option, and you need to bring it up as the employee if that's the resolution that you seek. Also understand, number 2, that mediation is final. If you settle, you may be giving up your right to sue. That means you need to understand every word of what you're agreeing to before you sign. Number 3, you'll likely be on your own. Most employers bring legal counsel or experienced HR professionals to the mediation, and the employee shows up all alone. If you're not represented, you'll need to be extra prepared. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go hire an attorney for mediation, but if you're not going to hire an attorney, or you don't feel like you can afford an attorney, then I suggest that you get some kind of support from someone like me, or even speak to an attorney before going to the mediation, so that you at least can be prepped to go in there and represent yourself effectively. Number 4, you need documentation. Bring emails, timelines, complaints, performance reviews, any receipts that support your position, okay? Don't come in there empty-handed. Bring all your receipts. Number 5, you can and should be prepared before you go to the mediation. Prepare ahead of time. Like I said, get some coaching, get some support, get some consulting support, some advice. If you feel like you can afford to hire an attorney to come into the mediation with you, at least get yourself prepared. You could book a discovery call and discuss with me whether or not I can support you with that, but get some professional support before you go in on your own. Even if you don't have a lawyer, work with someone who understands the process. I coach employees just like you so that you can go in confident, informed, and clear on what you want. So, what to learn about negotiating a severance? Because I know that's the thing that you're going to wonder about. If your goal is to leave your job with dignity and compensation, check out my course, Mastering Separation Agreements, Securing Your Best Interest in Severance Negotiations. It walks you through how to request a negotiated exit, what clauses to ask for, what traps to avoid, how to structure your ask in a mediation or in your job to your employer. You can use the same strategies that you learn, which is how to talk about these things to your employer. You can use the same strategies in a mediation. You don't need a law degree. You just need the right strategy, okay? So there's going to be a link to the course to the description of this video. I highly recommend that if you are going into a mediation by yourself, at a minimum, access this course, watch it, take notes, and use it to prep yourself for the mediation conversations. Other tools to help you prepare, my AntiHR documentation journal, which is on my website. It's downloadable. It's only $29.99. You can use it to create a structured format for recording what has happened to you in your work environment, the things that you have experienced, so that you have good documentation. It prompts you on things to think about and to document your workplace so that you can bring all these things with you to the mediation. The other thing that I would suggest that you grab access to on my website is the Roadmap to Understanding Your Workplace Rights. It's a plain English guide to federal employment laws and protections to make sure that you understand, at least from the federal level, what protections you currently have under the law. Despite everything that's going on in Washington, D.C. right now, civil rights laws are still the law of the land. FMLA is still the law. The Fair Labor Standards Act is still the law. Title VII, the Civil Rights Act, is still the law. So it's very important for you to understand your workplace rights, how to assert them, and how to bring them up in any workplace environment, including a mediation. Another great resource is to join the AntiHR membership community. A lot of the tools that I have just mentioned, excluding the Mastering Separation Agreement course, these ebooks that I just mentioned are all free if you are an anti-HR membership community member. You can download these things for free. You get free access to the journal and the roadmap. You get access to exclusive webinars and live Q&A sessions with me. You get discounts on courses, events, and merchandise. And it's a private community where you can ask any question. So if you're getting ready for mediation and you have questions, you can post them in the forum and I will answer them. Annual members also get a free discovery call with me every 12 months. So these are all benefits of joining the anti-HR membership community. It would be very helpful for you, especially if you're getting ready for a mediation. Workplace mediation can feel confusing, intimidating, and one-sided. But with the right preparation, you can take control of this process and walk away with an outcome that protects you. If you're facing mediation or think it's coming, book a discovery call with me and let's discuss it. Let's talk strategy and make sure you're not walking in unprepared. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might be facing workplace issues and getting ready for mediation. It's very important to remember, HR is not your enemy, but they're definitely not your friend, but I am. When you go into these situations, HR is not on your side. And if you go into a mediation unprepared, you are not going to come out on top. You may come out thinking you're on top, but you will not come out on top. Mediation does not favor employees. That is why so many employers are trying to force employees into mediation. If it was good for you, they wouldn't be pushing it so hard. So the very fact that they're trying to make so many people take part in mediation and keep you out of the court should tell you that mediation does not necessarily favor you, but you can still come out on top if you are prepared. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. I know it's not as sexy as talking about, Diddy's trial or Smokey Robinson, but these are the kinds of things you actually need to know as employees to get ahead. So I hope you watch this video to the very end. Take a minute. Please hit the subscribe button. Please like. Please comment constructively. And I hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.